Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a brand new video revolving around Skylanders Nerfinators. Whoops, I meant Imaginators. A little while back I made a video discussing all of the worst decisions made with the Skylanders franchise, but somehow in the making of that list I neglected the biggest mistake in the eyes of many for nerfing of old characters like your girl Whirlwind over here in Imaginators. They did characters like this dirty for the sake of a quick cash grab even, so we're going to look into that in some great depth this episode because it's about time I addressed my hatred behind the mistake of nerfing old characters in Skylanders Imaginators. So let's get to it. Luckily for me, I did not keep the disc in there.
You can get the starter pack with the all-new video game Skylanders Giants.
Skylanders games in the past have done a great job with their backwards compatibility. When a new game launched, all your old characters were fully playable and maintained their level, gold count and upgrades. For the most part, the Skylander remained untapped and about as good as they were in the previous game. Of course, sometimes the Skylander did get incredibly nerfed, Prison Break in Swap Force being one of the finest examples of this, to where he was nowhere near as good as he was in Spyro's Adventure and Giants, but these major nerfs were few and far between for the older Skylanders as they transferred to the newer games. This was great because it meant you didn't have to buy new figurines to have a good experience with the current Skylanders game. It was a huge money saver as well because you could buy old discounted figures and still have as much fun with them as you could with the newer toys. And for warehouses that still had all of the older Skylanders stocked up were able to ship them out to retailers more easily since they were still in demand because of the natural usefulness of these characters in the newer games. It truly was a win-win. Then Imaginators came out. In a desperate attempt to milk this cash cow on its final legs, they wanted to give you extra incentive to pick up the new Senseis toys, since they were more expensive and, more importantly, much more powerful. Enemies in Imaginators were buffed up, whilst all of the previous Skylanders were incredibly nerfed. This made the game nigh unplayable with old characters on the higher difficulties. They were lined up for slaughter effectively, which brings up the joke: how many old Skylanders does it take to beat an arena on Nightmare Mode in Imaginators? All of them. Please do just ignore the fact that my attire is completely different and I have completely different lighting for this clip in comparison to the rest of the video. It's not like I recorded these clips on separate days or anything. But moving right along from the fact that time and editing correlate in this manner, I mentioned at the very beginning of the video about your girl Whirlwind over here. So naturally, how does she manage with Skylanders Imaginators?
Twists of fury!
About as well as you'd expect. I mean, considering how nerfed these characters were in Imaginators, she actually did pretty well right there. But flipping her aside, how about all these? How well will they do? The developers' exploitation of the Skylanders brand for the sake of a few bucks didn't stop there. The warehouses still had old Skylanders from Swap Force to sell, since they were just effectively gathering dust on the shelves of these warehouses. So they created some new packaging, put these stocked up characters into them and shipped them off to local retailers for £30. 30. This is more expensive than what they were when the game first came out. During Swap Force, you could get a triple pack for only £25. This is great for the 2 people who came into the Skylanders franchise during Imaginators and never got around to buying the original figurines, but for everyone else, this was an absolute waste. Plus, since these were old characters, in Imaginators they were still incredibly nerfed. So for that £30, rather than get 2 incredibly powerful and very fun senseis, instead you got 3 old characters that died before you even put them on the portal in Imaginators, at least on the higher difficulties anyway. Yep, so they were all gone in about the space of 5 minutes, but how about the Eons Elite? I mean, these characters were brought out with one sole function: to be 3 times as overpowered as their regular counterparts. Well, let's just see how well these overpowered characters do in Imaginators, shall we? Yep, you guessed it, the Eons Elite are just mildly more powerful than what your Skylanders should have been regularly when tackling Skylanders Imaginators, so the fact that I need to whip out Eons Elites if I want to have some bare minimum fun with the old characters to where I won't die in 0.5 seconds, the fact I have to resort to Eons Elite for that is beyond infuriating. It still baffles me to this day the decision behind nerfing these characters and then still choosing to re-release them anyway. Didn't stop me from picking up one of the Champions pack containing that of Series 3 Whirlwind, Series 3 Prison Break and Zulu, purely because I still needed the Series 3 Whirlwind and the Series 3 Prison Break, and the pack was reduced to a mere £3, only 90% of its original retail value. Yeah, that pretty much made it worth it. In fact, these are still the 2 same figurines I got from that Champions pack. Hyper Beam Prison Break over here with his red crystals looking glorious, and Hornblast Whirlwind with her glorious looking armour, mind you. So yes, that Champions pack cost me £3, the equivalent of £1 per each character, so at the time that was cheaper, the cheapest way even to get both these characters, and I've held on to them ever since. There is, however, one character they forgot to nerf: Boomjet's bottom half. Seriously, this thing is still incredibly broken. It's still quick and causes huge knockback. Take that, enemies. Oh yeah, also Scratch, who even the developers forgot about since they forgot to nerf her. Must feel bad when even the developers forget about you. So yes, this video is coming to its natural conclusion with Scratch in hand and everything, so to reward those of you dedicated enough to make it all the way through the video, I have a special surprise that will act as a little bonus at the end of this video involving this character and my cat, so hopefully we can get some awesome interactions going there as my cat reacts to Scratch. We'll see, you know, what she thinks of her fellow cat, you can go as far to say, but enough of all this catception. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I went through a lot of dedication in this video myself. I mean, I had to stomach through several hours of Imaginators gameplay, so naturally, if that doesn't show my dedication to making these YouTube videos for the Skylanders franchise, I don't know what does, because Imaginators sucks and I hate it. That's an exaggeration, but still. With all that being said and done, I want to thank you all so much for watching once more, and until the next video arises, peace.
Hey guys, check out my cute cat Snurf, ain't she just plain adorable? Look at her. Aww. Hey yo Snurf, what do you think of Scratch right here? Oh, she's so warming up to her, you see? Yeah, they're gonna be the bestest of friends. Just be careful there, Snurf. Scratches are not made for eating. They wouldn't make a delicious treat like this, my leftovers from before, and also my revision for my exams. Yay for that. So, do you like Scratch or do you just want the food? Nope, she totally just wants the food. But either way, it's time to move on to the gameplay. Now that I've shown off how cool my cool cat is. Now say bye to the camera! Say bye! Nope, She still just wants some food.